What's up, YouTube? James Biggie here, and I want to make a video for my vloggy, ranty discussion, talk about my life channel or whatever. Because yesterday I did something very, very cool. I went and saw Iron Maiden live. Those who know me know that I grew up sort of listening to that sort of stuff through my dad. I've been a lifelong metalhead to an extent. Not so much in the last 5 to 10 years as much, but still, I got to see a band that has this legendary sort of mythical status in metal, and they're pioneers of a genre and have remained relevant and have not gone the route of other metal bands from that era and have either phased out completely or just like watered themselves down and become so cheesy and so fucking overdone and just a hollow shell of their former selves, i.e. Metallica. Iron Maiden has stayed relevant, and they've stayed talented, and they've stayed good. It was in Tampa at the Amalie Arena where the Tampa Bay Lightning play, and it was sold out. They sold out an entire hockey arena, and it's a really good, well-performed theatrical show. The sound quality was incredible, and the cool thing about it is, even though Iron Maiden's never been my favorite band, there have always been a handful of songs I've liked. My dad fucking loves that band, and while I wish I was able to bring him with me or whatever, I told him I was going, and his response was incredible. He was like, "What? Are you kidding? That's awesome. I saw them in '83, and it blew my mind." And then he proceeded to describe exactly how it went down 30 plus years ago. I'm 31 now. My dad's in his 50s, and he really it took him back to a moment in his life that he had an experience that when he was younger than I am now, that stuck with him for 30 plus years. Now I had an experience like that. The show was great. For dudes that have been doing it for 40 years, or up there in years, they are spry motherfuckers, and they get around on stage, and they put on a show, man. The showmanship, incredible. The sound, incredible. The theatrics, bringing, giant, rubber costumed Eddie onto stage and stuff while they perform. Absolutely ridiculous. My girlfriend, a massive Iron Maiden fan, and that's kind of why we went to the show. Her sister bought her a ticket, so I bought a ticket to go along with her. So it was me, her, and her sister's fiance. And, it was a really good time, man. I got to sit and watch a legendary metal band that many of the metal bands that I grew up loving and, really attached to after I did grow up and kind of develop my own taste in music would not be around if it were not for Iron Maiden. So, super great experience, super cool concert, just a good time, and I'm sure, maybe down the road, if I have a kid and Iron Maiden isn't around anymore, and which they might be, I mean, they look pretty damn good for their ages and whatnot, but a band like Iron Maiden is not around, I hope that, my kid grabs onto a band that I'm into, or at least that style of music, and maybe down the line they grow an appreciation for something that I loved when I was younger, and then maybe when they're grown up, they go to see it, and I get to have that moment with them. It's a real cool bonding moment with my dad. I love the guy to death, but, he doesn't get out to do this sort of stuff anymore because he just works his ass off, and it was cool to be able to be like, hey, I did a thing you did when you were a kid, and it was great, and it was awesome, and thank you for, being that sort of important mold in my life and developing a style and a taste of music that I eventually grabbed onto and evolved from, that I could go back and check a band out like that. It's a band that I never knew that I would really want to see live, but then when I have, I don't know how I lived this long without seeing Iron Maiden live. One of the bands that I get to mark off the list that I didn't even know belonged on the list. Other bands that I've got to do that with have been Megadeth. I saw Megadeth live. I saw Slayer live back in 2003. So I'm really compiling all these old metal bands and pioneers of metal. Unfortunately, I'll never get to see Pantera, Dimebag being gone and all. But I at least get two of the big five off the list. And that's pretty sweet. The next one, probably Metallica, which I don't think I'm ever going to go see Metallica just because Metallica hasn't been Metallica since like '92, but maybe. Additionally, on the music kick, on the metal kick, at the end of this month, there's a documentary coming out called Yesterday Was Everything. It's a documentary about the band Misery Signals, a very not massive metal band or metalcore band for that stupid fucking like subgenre of the genre, whatever, if you want to get that technical. But a band that I've loved for years, and it's a documentary about the band reuniting with its original lineup to play a series of shows where they just played their first album, of Malice and the Magnum Heart, which is an album that came out in 2004 that really fucking stuck with me and made me love that band. There's a trailer out for the documentary right now, and it just goes over their time and their difficulties as a band and why the original lead singer left and how they're getting back together for these shows and why. And it's really exciting to be able to see that after so many years of them being a different band than they used to be, them becoming the same old band again that kind of turned me on to them. It's a really cool thing to see. So I hope that that DVD or that documentary or whatever is good, and I hope that it spawns something in the future for that lineup of that band. If you haven't checked out Misery Signals, for God's sakes, go back and check them out. Even like their stuff after their second singer joined is incredible. Like they're an incredibly talented, melodic, technical, progressive sort of sounding metal band, and we're around in a time where everything was starting to kind of sound the same, and they didn't. They really stood out. And then a couple bands kind of came along and copied them and ripped them off, or not rip them off, but, you know, imitated them a bit. That's it. That's all I got. Iron Maiden is great. Go see them live on this tour if you can. If you can't, hopefully they're around for another one and you can catch them near you. I absolutely recommend it if you've ever listened to anything with a guitar and with, like, loud drums and bass and really, like, good pioneer, you know, sort of metal. They've set the tone for like 40 years of metal. So I recommend it either way. If you have seen Iron Maiden, tell me about it in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll leave a link up here to subscribe, either here or here. Just click my face and you'll be signed up to see my next video and all my other ones. And please let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you again soon.